Have it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is Appropriations General Government Subcommittee, and welcome today. We're happy to have everybody with us today, and I'm going to ask Chairman Prince if you'd lead us in our invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another opportunity to do the business of this great state of Georgia. Father, we ask that everything we do be pleasing unto you. Continue to guide us and strengthen us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Okay, first on the agenda is the Department of Administrative Services. Ms. Sullivan, Commissioner, welcome.
Heavy chairs. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and other members of the committee. My name is Rebecca Sullivan, and I have the honor of serving as the Commissioner of the Department of Administrative Services. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today regarding budget recommendations reflected in the amended FY26 budget for DOAS programs. DOAS amended FY26 budget information is in Section 12. Pages 4 through 5 of the tracking document, and there are just a few changes that I'd like to speak to. Starting on page 4, the governor's recommended an increase in funding to provide the $2,000 one-time salary supplement for full-time regular employees in several of our programs, including our attached agencies. We would like to express our sincere appreciation to the governor and his team, as well as the General Assembly, for supporting and funding this one-time supplemental pay for state employees. The remaining changes in the DOAS budget relate to funding for our attached programs. As DOAS provides administrative support to these programs, the funds will be passed through to them accordingly. Touching on Section 12.8, this section refers to the Wrongful Conviction Compensation Trust Fund, which was created by Senate Bill 244 last year and creates a new framework for consideration and payment of claims of wrongful conviction. Section 12.8.1, the governor's recommended an appropriation of $4.8 million to establish the trust fund, which will be managed by the Office of the State Treasurer. At this time, 7 cases have advanced through the preliminary hearing process, and it's my understanding this information was used as the baseline for seeding that trust fund. And then in Section 12.8.2, there's $200,000 in state funds to support the Office of State Administrative Hearings for the actual hearing and adjudication of those claims. These funds will be used to cover OSA invoices associated with the adjudication of wrongful conviction cases. And finally, in Section 12.8.3, this section just reflects a change in the program name to align with the new law. In Section 12.9, this relates to the Georgia Tax Tribunal. 12.9.2 provides an increase of $61,594 in state funds for annual leave payouts associated with the elimination of the Georgia Tax Tribunal, which will be closed out in the FY27 Appropriations Act. We fully support all of these recommendations, and I do want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the committee for your continued support of DOAS and our programs, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Okay, we've got a question. Representative Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Sullivan, good to see you. 12.81. How did we come up with the number of $4.8 million for the wrongful conviction and incarceration compensation fund? Are we convicting that many people wrongfully?
So I think one thing to note for this new law is that it does allow for old claims to be filed, right? This is a new process. So the first 3 years, there's not a statute of limitations for filing those claims. I do know that 36 cases, claims have been filed with OSA to date. Now, a large majority of those have been closed and dismissed, but there are 7 claims that have advanced through the initial phase, and 1 claim that has actually received a final order for compensation. So I think as this is the first year of the program, and this is an opportunity to seed that funding, and then we'll see how it plays out as to what should be recommended for appropriation in future years.
Do you know how much we gave out last year as a result of wrongful incarceration convictions?
So I don't believe that any claim has been paid to this point because the trust fund hasn't been funded. I think only 1 claim has been actually proceeded to final judgment, and I believe that was for around a little over $400,000 for that 1 claim.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions from the committee? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you so much.
All right, next on the agenda is the state accounting offices. Good afternoon. Ms. Hyde.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Geralda Hines, and I'm the State Accounting Officer. And thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today regarding the Governor's recommendation for amended FY26, which is on page 2 of your tracking document. A little background about the State Accounting Office. The State Accounting Office is responsible for the annual comprehensive financial report for the state, which supports the AAA bond rating and other financial reports. In addition, we're responsible for payroll share services for 28 agencies and maintaining and operating our current enterprise resource planning system, which is called TeamWorks, for HR, finance, and procurement. Since September of 2021, SAO has been in partnership with the Department of Administrative Services to replace our current 25-plus-year-old ERP system, which the new name is Georgia at Work. And you have a couple of pages in your documentation that gives a little background about the system. We have been working on this project with over 355 project staffs participating from SAO, DOAS, and subject matter experts from various agencies. We've come a long way since our last meeting last year with over 200 agencies and 78,000 employees that will be transitioning to the new system. Last fall, our go-live date shifted from April 1st of 2026 to July 1st of 2026, and we are targeted to go live July 1st of this year, with training beginning March 2nd and cutover activities starting in May. Now, the major factor in our shift in timeline is the fine-tuning needs for GDOT, as their business needs and processes are very complex and require specific customizations to meet federal requirements and custom and certification. GDOT will be going live separately, and their team is working diligently with our team. In the Governor's recommendation for SAO that I fully support and look forward for your recommendation also is items 11.1, 11.3, and 11.4 in 3 of our programs, which increases funds to provide a one-time salary supplement of $2,000 to full-time employees, regular state employees, which is a statewide adjustment. And under financial systems, 11.2.1, the Governor's recommendation is to provide one-time funds to continue TeamWorks ERP support for the Georgia Department of Transportation due to the extension of the agency's Georgia at Work implementation timeline. And that's $10,379,589. And this will support keeping TeamWorks up for GDOT. I do want to thank you, Chairman, and the members of the committee. It has been a long journey from 2021 for our team, and we appreciate your support. And this is the end of my presentation, and I can answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any questions from the committee? Going back to the next gen, so the start date is July 1, correct?
July 1, yes, of this
And
year.
with DOT sometime after that because of the complexity of the nature
Yes.
that they're dealing with. So-
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Next on the agenda is Department of Labor. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Hello.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you again. I'm seeing you often, and I think that's a good thing. So, Chairman Yurda, members of this committee, again, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm Labor Commissioner Barbara Rivera-Holmes, and I'm joined today by my Chief of Staff. And I want to recognize other members of my team. If y'all would stand up, do it with, like, excitement. There we go. Fantastic.
Great support group.
And we really are honored to be here today and grateful for the opportunity to discuss the funding recommended in the governor's budget for the Georgia Department of Labor for amended fiscal year 2026. On behalf of our entire team, I do thank you for your partnership and for the state funding you have entrusted to our agency. Your support truly allows us to deliver the mission-critical services to the Georgians who need them most. That investment is powering the largest unemployment insurance modernization in state history, because government should meet the urgency of the people it serves. As part of this agency-wide transformation, we are replacing a system from the 1980s with technology that will help Georgians faster, enhance fraud detection and prevention, and eliminate technical bottlenecks that have long impacted workers and employers alike. And migration to this new system will begin at the end of 2025. This afternoon, I will walk you through our new strategic plan, the governor's budget recommendations for amended fiscal year 2026, and provide you an update on the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. So we'll start with the foundation of our work, our strategic plan. Since taking office, I have met with workers, employers, and community leaders across your districts, and their message is clear. A strong Georgia depends on a labor department that moves at the speed of business and delivers measurable results. The Georgia Department of Labor is rising to meet that challenge by evolving into an organization that is forward-thinking, future-focused, and resilient. And that is why we recently launched our new comprehensive strategic plan, The Future of GDOL, a bold transformation. Our plan is built on 4 pillars: a customer-centric transformation, empowering talent and leadership, modernization and operational excellence, and our strategic influence and partnerships. Together, these pillars align directly with labor's budget priorities and reinforce legislative initiatives that expand opportunity, strengthen our workforce, and fuel Georgia's continued economic growth. To achieve the goals outlined in our strategic plan, the governor's budget provides targeted funding to support our employees and key initiatives, totaling $3.26 million for amended fiscal year 2026. Starting on page 12, section 32 of the House track sheet, lines 32.1.1, 32.2.1, and 32.3.1, there is a total increase of $1,563,078 to provide a one-time salary supplement of $2,000 for our full-time regular employees throughout the agency. The next line item on 32.1.2 is an increase of $611,691 to cover rent for the Athens and the Thomasville Career Centers, while we work with the State Properties Commission to fill recently vacated space. The Athens and Thomasville Career Centers operate under bonded leases, requiring GDOL to remain until the bond obligations are fully satisfied. These centers host co-location partners with operating costs shared among them. When a partner departs, GDOL's share of costs increases until the vacated space is reoccupied. The recommended funds will enable GDOL to manage these additional expenses while working with the State Properties Commission to secure new partners to assume the space. Lastly, line 32.1.3 recommends an increase of $1,090,000 to replace aging laptops across the agency through the Georgia Technology Authority's end-user computing services. The agency's outdated inventory of laptops and hardware is impeding our daily operations. Most of the agency's laptops were purchased at the onset of the pandemic and have now surpassed the recommended 3 to 5 year life cycle, resulting in rising hardware failures and increased downtime. This funding will allow GTA to replace and maintain laptops, ensuring they remain modern, reliable, and effective in the years ahead. While these investments are essential to preserving our work-ready infrastructure, it is equally critical to ensure the foundation of Georgia's unemployment insurance system remains strong. Georgia's Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund was depleted during the pandemic in September of 2020. As of December 2025, Georgia's Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund balance stands at $1.98 billion, which is $1.5 billion below the U.S. Department of Labor's calculated solvency threshold of $3.48 billion. Multiple factors continue to impact solvency, and GDOL remains committed to working closely with the Governor's Office and you as members of the Georgia General Assembly to develop responsive and long-term solutions. And these efforts will focus on strengthening the trust fund's stability, ensuring its capacity to support Georgia's workforce, and promoting a healthier unemployment insurance system for the future. In addition to safeguarding the trust fund's long-term solvency, GDOL continues to strengthen its fiscal stewardship through consistent revenue collections deposited within the state treasury. For fiscal year 2026, GDOL remitted $17,354,194 to the state treasury, including administrative assessments, penalties, and interest, which represents an increase of $678,481, or 4%, compared to the same period in fiscal year 2025. So I thank you for your time and for the opportunity to be here today. Your partnership and your leadership keep Georgia the #1 state for business and the best place to work and to live. And as I've shared with you before, I look forward to continuing this work with you throughout the legislative session so that together we deliver real results for the people of Georgia. It is a new era for the Georgia Department of Labor, and we're proud to move forward with you. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, I think we have a question from Representative Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner, technology being what it is there's a de-emphasis on these career centers? Do you foresee we decreasing career centers or increasing or just maintaining they are? The reason why I mention it, and I know this is probably shameless self-serving of constituents, there is a former career center in DeKalb County, Covington Highway, that is no longer. I just found that the certain areas of our state, the folks who are in most need of these career centers have a harder time accessing the services that they are. And some of these other career centers are in areas where I think technology would serve them better. I would have supported in your budget in increasing the funds to maintain a career center in DeKalb County. What say you?
Well, just with respect to service delivery overall is really how I'll frame it. We're committed to ensuring all Georgians have access to the services provided by the Georgia Department of Labor, and services which they've earned and services which they deserve. We continue to evaluate our real estate portfolio in light of the services that our citizens need. We are adopting more technology tools into our UI platform, which is the UI Inspire, and really creating more self-service options as well. So while we evaluate both of those components, the impact on the self-service and the new UI platform with respect and in relation to the footprint, we'll have a better sense of where we'll be going in future years.
Mm-hmm. I assume that you have some record of where those who are in most need of your services, where they come from, as to be able to appropriately, determine where career centers should be?
Yes, sir. We are a data-driven organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we'll talk.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions from the committee? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Holmes. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
you
much.
being here with us today.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is Office of the Commissioner of Insurance, Mr. John King.
I move to pass, Mr. Chairman. Yes, he worked on me in the elevator.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much for allowing me. I have with me Chad DeVella, who is our CFO and can answer a lot of the technical hard questions, or at least kick me in the shin if I start going in a direction that is counterproductive. But thank you so much, members of this committee. I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you all today and highlight how our agency continues to serve the people of Georgia each and every day. I know you all have a very busy afternoon, so I'll do my best to be very brief. One of the things that I want to highlight is our Safety Fire Division right now is tasked, and really truly the Office of the Commissioner of Insurance, the whole staff is focused on our immediate need to support the World Cup coming to Atlanta. People don't realize that a lot of people think in terms of police officers, state troopers, DNR agents, but a lot of the tasks of making sure that buildings, elevators, boilers, crowd control, all those tasks are done in safety. It falls on our office. So we're surging our employees, getting them trained up, working with other partner agencies, bringing folks from other communities to support this activity to help us be able to ensure that these events are done in a safe manner. It's not just the stadium and the World Congress Center, but all the additional buildings in the downtown area that will have to be inspected and certified and make sure that the facilities are safe. For the tremendous number of people, we have now numbers like 2 million people expected to be coming to our state to partake in these games, and they're coming from all over the world. Where culture and languages are going to be a challenge. It brings me back to just working back at Beaufort Highway when I was chief of police. So I'm actually very familiar with these challenges. We just have to make sure that we ramp up how our agency looks at these. And so we have an all hands on deck approach. In support of our responsibility, we will enforce all applicable provisions of the Georgia Life Safety Code, along with other relevant state-adopted fire, building, and safety codes and standards. This includes comprehensive plans, review, permitting, on-site inspection activities to verify compliance with the requirements of occupational safety, fire protection, means of safe egress, crowd management, emergency preparedness, and active crowd and facility monitoring during these events. Law enforcement officers of the office will provide support to inspection operations, regulatory enforcement, and active crowd monitoring through the events. Their presence will enhance situational awareness, support compliance efforts, and contribute to maintaining safe environment for all attendees. Additionally, our office will conduct inspections and regulatory oversight of all escalators, elevators, and other conveyance systems within the stadiums, fan zones, and supporting facilities. This includes ensuring that these systems are properly certified, maintained, and operated in accordance with Georgia law and applicable safety standards. Moving on, Georgia, I ask you all to continue supporting the Georgia Reinsurance Program, which provides financial support to health insurers, helping them cover the cost of enrollees and high medical expenses without passing the burden on to the consumers in the form of higher premiums. The goal of reinsurance is to reduce consumer premiums and increase the affordability of health care, and to make Georgia an attractive market for health carriers. Since 2018, the number of health insurance carriers in Georgia has more than doubled. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, we don't have the map up, do we? Okay, good. As you all can see in the map, the heat map, if you see the transition between 2018 and today, we've increased the number of carriers competing and covering parts of the state that before only had one carrier, and which made us very vulnerable to the increased pressure on rates. Now we have competition, and that's and because we're covering the high risk pool, which is what companies were really leery of going into rural parts of our state. So we're very proud of what we've been able to do on reinsurance, but we continue to monitor and put pressure on insurance companies to reduce the cost of insurance, because we know, I haven't found a person yet that can say that they're happy with their insurance rates. We know that they're high, and we're pulling every lever within our authority to make sure that we control those. And so we now have 10 insurance companies throughout our state. The reinsurance program has been the key to being able to manage that pressure across the market. And so now, Mr. Chairman, to our budget request for 2026. Despite of what I've said, I know that probably created this appearance that I was going to come and ask for a lot of money to be able to run our little agency, but we're not coming here to ask for any more money. That's the good news. The fact is, we actually giving money back to our state. We are giving back state funds in 2 programs, nearly $2.6 million in administration and $582,000 for enforcement, for a total return of just over $3 million. This return on state funds is a result of our increased appointment fees. And to describe what appointment fees, those are paid by carriers and agents, not by the consumer. I want to make sure that that is very clear how those are generated. Under our authority, under Official Code of Georgia 33-23-11, my office can require companies to pay an appointment fee for each agent that sells their products. By raising our appointment fees from $20 to $25, our agency retains enough dollars to fully fund several divisions, including insurance regulation, administration, and enforcement. Yet our fees are still lower in some of our neighboring states. The Southeast average is $32, with the state of Florida going as high as $60. So as we did our due diligence in the industry, we saw no resistance. We heard no resistance from the insurance carriers about the increase in our fees to $25. And so we also asked for the continued support of our reinsurance program in the amount of $120 million. Due to the lower than anticipated claims for fiscal year 2026, the total amount required for the program dropped to $25 million. In addition to user fees continuing to support reinsurance, with $82 million going to that program. And of course, we support the $2,000 one-time supplemental for the state employees on several lines across our agency. Outside of that, Mr. Chairman, I will ask you to maintain our current funding in all the areas of our agency as we prepare to be all hands on deck for the World Cup. And this summer, as I described previously. With that, sir, I would like to open it up for any questions you may have.
All right.
For the committee.
We've got a question for Representative Reeves.
Commissioner King, I just wanted to thank you and your office for all the engagement in the Insurance Rate Study Committee. The Speaker appointed that committee to study insurance rates and claims processing to make sure that Georgians get the benefit of more affordable insurance. Appreciate your leadership last year and the year before that with tort reform. And you announced during our committee's work that 8 companies had reduced auto insurance rates. State Farm, Liberty Mutual, Safeco, Southern General, Progressive, Hanover, Go Auto. One of those alone was $400 million a year. So the work that you've done for years, the work the House has done since we adjourned last year, customers have some savings on the way, and our committee is wrapping up our work. We look forward to continuing to work with you. I appreciate your leadership on some ideas for legislation this year that you're working with Chairman Lumsden as well as me, and look forward to working with you on that. And thanks for this good budget presentation. The insurance department covers a lot there with things affecting the World Cup, and appreciate your leadership.
Well, sir, thank you so much for the opportunity to do the presentations, to help educate the number of tasks that your committee looked at. There's no silver bullet in dealing with this, and so we have to get some of the best and brightest out here engaged in keeping the rates where they can be affordable for our consumers without driving carriers out of our state. It's a very careful balance that we have to maintain. Thank you.
Representative Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say thanks for the work on reinsurance. It's critical. We're self-insured, so last several years our premiums have really put a hurting on us, and as we've been able to ratchet that up and lower our premiums, it kind of filters back into the organization. So lowers costs across the board for taxpayers, individual citizens, local governments. So appreciate the work on that. I think competition will lead to continued lower prices and lower premiums. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Chairman, if I could add, Commissioner King and definitely everybody at the department, you gave a moment of silence in memory of Steve Manners during the big budget presentation last week. But definitely our heart goes out to you. Steve Manners did a great job for 38 years with your department, and you got a lot of people here who respected him and mourn with you and his family in his loss. 38 years doing something excellent. That's something to honor.
Yes, sir. We're going to miss him terribly. We miss him right now.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Hearing none. Thank you, Commissioner, for being with us.
See you in the elevator next time, sir.
Sir,
I need to find the people that went to high school with you and saw how you were driving when you were a teenager and see what they think about that. My daughter, no risk. My son, I can't look at an insurance company with a straight face and tell them that they don't have that risk. That is exactly what they want, sir. It is risky. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is Department of Driver Services, Angelique McClendon, Commissioner. Yes, sir. Proud of all of them. Welcome.
Chairs are heavy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Angelique McClendon, Commissioner of the Department of Driver Services. I first would like to thank Governor Kemp for the one-time salary supplement. That's very helpful, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But just want to thank you for all your considerations over the past years with assistance for our budget requests. We've improved retention. We've lowered our turnover, which you'll see. We've been able to serve customers at the same level, and I would argue a higher, better level of customer service without expanding staff, but we've expanded services. And so overall, our volume is higher. Wait times are shorter, technology is better, and we are heading into our second decade being known as the Department of Driver Services. So that's 20 years. That's our platinum year. Our theme for the year for our team members is platinum level service, platinum service. So that's what we expect. So if you get anything less than platinum level service, please let Ms. Leslie know, or myself. And I have with me today our Budget Director, Stacy Cheek, and our CFO, Travis Kennedy. So, again, same mission, same core values, new commissioner. I'm new to the role, but I'm not new to the agency. I've been there for 10 years. I realized just a few months ago that I had been there a whole decade. But a short update on what we're doing. Again, we've achieved our mission and then some. Our wait times are shorter, about 1 minute shorter. Our average longest wait time is 3 minutes shorter, so that's significant. Next slide. Thank you. So these are just some numbers to give you an overall overview of what we've been doing in the state of driver services. So we have over 9 million valid drivers. 400,000 of those are commercial drivers, and we know how important those commercial drivers are. At the end of 2025, there were almost 600,000 digital license users and holders. So right now we've surpassed that 600,000. And I would say that and hope that there are some on the committee that are digital license holders, right? Representative Fritz? Yes. Yeah, but so you should have that on your mobile phone for use at TSA and other locations. But we have 68 locations. Yes, I see you hold up your physical card. We'll turn that into a digital credential after this. But we have 68 locations. 12 of those are commercial testing sites. So last year we had 11 commercial testing sites. We have 12 because we've added Hazelhurst. So we are happy and excited about Hazelhurst. We opened that in September, and they employ 8 people down in Hazelhurst. Last year we served 4.1 million customers overall. That was about 200,000, over 200,000 more customers than the previous year. So that volume is important to note, because with increased volume, you get increased work, right? You have increased customer transactions, interactions, calls, mail, all those types of things that cost money. And so one thing to note on this slide is that about 30% of our customers were served through remote transactions, and those are self-serve kiosks inside our locations. And then you have our services that are integrated in the yellow kiosks that are in the grocery stores that you might have seen or might have used. And so 158,000 customers were served on kiosks last year. So that's a significant number, and that expands our services. So if you're not close enough to a brick and mortar location, if you're unsure about using our e-services, you can always go to a self-serve kiosk as well. And the people who come inside, if you have a simple transaction, you can be directed to that self-serve kiosk. So we're very proud about our improved technology services. And so getting into our amended FY26 requests, we're page 7 of the track sheet, section 21. And as you may know, our budget is in 3 programs: administration, license issuance, and regulatory compliance. So I'll start with our administration request. That is line item 2111. And that is for the one-time 2,000 salary supplement to accommodate that for our employees that are in this administration program. And so that is $114,000 and a little over $114,000. Line item 2112 is to support our compliance with CDL federal mandates. So those are federal mandates that come down from at the federal level for commercial drivers. And those federal mandates include mail, as I talked about before. Anytime we have a new program or something new, we have to notify those affected customers. And so that actually has happened 3 times within the past year. That's the National Registry 2, the Exclusive Electronic Exchange, and the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. And these are all public safety and highway safety initiatives from the federal government. And we're requesting $150,000 to accommodate those notifications. Continuing with our license issuance program, line item 2121, we are requesting $1.7 million to accommodate our one-time $2,000 salary supplement for the employees in this particular program. Line item 2122, we are requesting $150,000 to accommodate and continue our armed guard services. We have some at new and higher traffic locations, and we have dedicated services during operating hours for certain locations for armed guard services. We are requesting, again, $150,000 to accommodate that. Next line item is 2123. We are requesting $185,000 for continued compliance with GTA security and infrastructure.
Commissioner, going back to the armed guards, what locations would those be?
They are in Atlanta, Decatur, Norcross, Lithonia, and Savannah.
Okay.
So those are high volume, high traffic areas.
Right.
We would love to have them at, of course, obviously more locations, but those are the locations so far.
Okay. Chairman Prince?
Yeah, good, thanks. I just want to piggyback off that. Is that because, you're not doing any cash transactions or anything like that?
We do accept cash.
Okay, is that why we have them there, or is it just because of the volume of folks there that coming in and out?
It's an overall security. It's for
Overall security, okay,
So
cool.
there are cash transactions, but then there are, again, an influx of customers. There could be, we've had some unhappy customers from time to
Say
time.
more, say
and
less.
some are more unhappy than others.
Say
And
less.
then we've had some other incidents.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so
We'll come back to your questions, okay, if y'all just save them.
That's not in Augusta now. She said Atlanta. She said Atlanta. She said Atlanta.
no, we
She
did
didn't
not
say
mention Augusta for armed guard
good.
services. We do employ
We're good.
post-certified law enforcement that are at other locations, but there are only 12 of those
Okay.
that we are authorized for. So line item 2124, we are requesting $1.3 million for increased card production. So that is due to that increased volume that I mentioned earlier. That is a combination of people who are new to Georgia, people who are needing replacements. Anytime we need anytime there are credentials, that goes into our car production budget. And the predictables are how many people might need to renew based on the cycles, but the unpredictables are increased mail costs, new to Georgia. Those are all unpredictables. And so we've had, as previous commissioners mentioned, there are a lot of people wanting to come to Georgia. Some of them come to stay, and when they come to stay, they have to come to us to change over their credentials. And so that accounts for that increased car production. Line item 2125, we are requesting $428,000 to support our back-end system, which is drives. All right, moving on to the next line item, that is line item 2126. We are requesting $2.4 million for decreased turnover. This is for personal services for decreased turnover. So we had increased volume, and now we also have decreased turnover, which is a great thing, but as people stay, they get promotions, they get certain increases, and so that is the reason for the request to accommodate our personal services due to decreased turnover. Line item 2127, lease increases. So leases are going up. The price of a lease is going up all over the state of Georgia. So we are asking for $139,000 to accommodate lease increases at 9 locations throughout the state of Georgia. And finally, our regulatory compliance program, and this is line item 231. It is a one-time $2,000 salary supplement for our employees in the regulatory compliance program. That is a smaller program, hence the smaller amount for the request. And that, I'm sorry, that is 2131 line item. Same section, same page on your track sheet. And I know there are no questions.
Okay. We actually have several questions.
Yes.
Chairman Parsons.
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate recognizing me. I wanted to ask, you'd already been asked about, it's not very much money in the whole scheme of things, $150,000 for the, like, trying to find my lines here, but I think it was around that for the armed guard services. You mentioned that was like for 3 or 4 different places you'd mentioned, I think.
5 locations.
What exactly is that $150,000 buy for you? I mean, what is it? Is that where you pay a security service to have somebody come out and?
Yes, it actually is. It's paying a private security service. They're armed security as well, so they have different price points per hour. So that actually has increased as well. That rate has increased as well. But they get paid per hour. The private security service.
It just doesn't seem like it would go very far. $150,000.
It doesn't, because it's only 5 locations. This is one person at these locations.
But Mr. Chairman, if I may ask a follow-up, and
Yes, sir.
I probably misunderstood or may have misunderstood, but I think you mentioned that you have 12 employees who are guards.
Right. We're limited by statute.
Now,
as to how many we can
these
hire.
post-qualified?
They are. They're post-certified investigators, and so they primarily investigate fraud, but they're post-certified. All of them have years and decades of law enforcement experience, and they are assigned at different locations. So certain locations have staff. 8 of them, I think, are assigned to different CSCs, our customer service locations. Throughout
I'm sure that they're needing to. I'm just always concerned myself. We have every agency that we have in the state has their own little state police force, and we have state police all through agencies, all through Georgia state government. And sometimes I wonder why we have so many different ones. I mean, I think some states have state police. Those are the state police that are assigned to different departments. It just seems like sometimes that would be a better way to do it. But anyway, thank you. Appreciate it.
Some states do have that. Yep.
All right, Representative Reeves.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner McClendon, your office worked a lot with us a couple years ago with the Second Chance Workforce Act.
Right,
I really appreciate that. Ms. Leslie worked with us. There was a follow-up I got about the pauper's affidavit that I've given Ms. Leslie. Appreciate you all taking a look at it. When somebody loses their driver's license and they're trying to get it back, if they don't have their driver's license, they can't drive to a location and they can't go do a scanner, so they want to be able to mail it, and they gave some language, criminal justice reform folks did on that, and look forward to following up with your department. But y'all did a great job a few years ago, and a lot of people have gotten back in the workforce with that work y'all did back in House Bill 926,
Right.
Second Chance Workforce.
Yep,
Thank
I
you.
recall that. Thank you.
Chairman Prince.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Commissioner. And I know you've been in the organization for a while, but thank you for your leadership. Different hat, and so it all falls on you now. But thank you, and we're looking forward to working with you. But one thing you talked a little bit about the cards that you have to produce and all that. Real ID, I think that's a big deal that's coming up. Well, I know it. Well, it's going on now and getting close to a deadline, I think, or something. How are we doing with that? And I say we. Just,
How's Georgia doing?
How's Georgia doing?
Oh, we are.
Because I heard we were
A
ahead
plus,
of the curve.
A plus
Good,
plus.
good.
A++. I can't take all the credit for that because, but we are about 99% compliant. And so we don't have a problem with that in state of Georgia. The deadline actually was last year. Some states were scrambling. We were not one of them. I was actually, I give a personal story. I was at the airport checking in, and the guy checking me in he just casually mentioned, yeah, you see that star there? That means you're Real ID compliant. And he said, most people in Georgia don't have to worry about that. And I was really happy that he said that and that he knew that as a person who has nothing to do with driver service.
Did he upgrade you on your seat?
He did not.
No.
He did tell me I could check in through Sky Priority, but I didn't get an upgrade on my seat. But no, so that just goes to show our reputation, and that's sort of what we hang on, and we try to spread and make that statement clear to our team members that our reputation is very good, and we like to keep it that way. But nationally, we are ahead of the curve and have been ahead of the curve. I can't take all the credit. A few commissioners before me, we started with our Real ID compliance in 2012, and so we hit those pain points and have passed those pain points.
Chairman Tarbin.
Just something you said then, and I didn't hear everything you said to Chairman Prince then, because I'm hard of hearing. I can't read your lips if you look another way.
Okay.
We've been Real ID compliant for a while, haven't
Since
we?
2012.
I mean, hard, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I knew that we got on it pretty quick, and
We did.
I just want to make sure that we were up in the 90-some-odd percentile.
Oh, 99.
Very, very good.
99. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? I just want to say I actually renewed my license online. Pretty seamless. It was not bad at all, and I appreciate the ability to do that. One thing, I know turnover was a big issue in the past with your department, and I know the legislature and the governor have made some adjustments there to make things more.
And it's helped.
Yeah,
It has
help
helped.
things in your department. Tell me, has that made a big difference?
It has made a difference. So again, when we like to retain people because that knowledge, right? That
Sure.
there are so many levels of information that you should have if you're servicing people. People come in with different documents. We want to make sure they're the correct documents. We want to make sure people are processed right and get the right service. And that's just much easier to do, to give that great level of service if you have people who have that experience. So that's very important. That's been very, very helpful to us. So we're very appreciative of all the efforts over the years, because it's a culmination of things that have happened year after year that have blessed our department and our team members. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about, again, the one-time salary supplement. Our team members are super excited. We had a suggestion box at a all-hands managers meeting back in December, and of course, half of the questions were about money. So at least that's been answered for right now. So thank you.
Well, any further questions? Well, thank you, Commissioner McClendon. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. All right, nothing else on the agenda, we'll stand adjourned.